everyone, welcome to another Stamp Chatter video. My name is Leanne and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And today I want to show you the new Stampin' Foil, hot foil system from Stampin' Up! That's just been out, not even a week yet, I don't think, or maybe, yeah, just a week. Anyway, Stampin' Up! Demonstrators get it early, and so we've had a few weeks already to play with the system and the new dies and figure it out. So this is what it looks like. It's just a platform basically with a place for a plug, and there's two silicone mats, one to cool your dies off and one for this platform to sit on, and it comes with a magnetic plug. So yeah, anyway, so all you do is let that click into place and then let it heat up. So that's going to take 5 minutes to heat up. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what I've learned in the last 3 weeks and the 4 tools that I just have to have around me that don't come with the machine, that just make hot foiling much easier. And so we're going to start that off with something really basic, which is just copy paper. And so whenever I pull that machine out, now I always take a couple pieces of paper, and it's just 8.5 by 11, cut it in half, and then cut one side into a bunch of 5.5 by 4.25 sheets. And I will show you why I like to do that as this video progresses. The second thing I like to have is washi tape. Now, this is going to be for repositioning some of the dies, and I have tried other tapes, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But washi tape, and I hate to say it, but cheap washi tape seems to work the best. All right, and the other thing is a mono eraser. This is going to help you if you get over foiling. You can easily remove that with a sand eraser. You can too a little bit with the white rubber eraser, but I find that this, like, you barely have to push on it and it comes right off. So there's that. And the last thing that I absolutely love is my rotary cutter, because this foil is very, very thin and I find difficult to cut with scissors. And I happen to be a quilter, so I already had a mini blade, and so if I'm going to use this for fabric again, I'll just take the blade out and put a fresh one in if I'm going to do a fabric project. But in the meantime, I'm using it for cutting foil. So those are the 4 tools that I pull out every time I pull out my hot foil machine. And I'm going to incorporate that in what I'm doing with you today. And I'm not going to make a full-sized or a full card, but I will show you lots of samples of what I've done in the past few weeks and why I've had to sort of figure out a better method. And so the first card I want to show you that I did was this one. So this is the new violet, framed violet stamp set that just came out. And as you know, there's a few choices that you can purchase for foiling stamps and dies, and this was one of them. So in the dark gray area, these are the actual dies that you can cut out cardstock or paper, and the gold color here are the actual foiling dies. And I didn't want to cut mine out. I made this card and thought I just like the look in the cardstock. But how do you do that? How do you line this up in the center? Where did it go? Oh, it's over here. All right, so here's my die, and I couldn't quite figure out, excuse me, little dog hair on there, if this was my piece of cardstock, and I'm supposed to put this flat side down, and then I put my foil on top. Sorry, let's pretend this green mat is the hot foil machine. So I put this down, let it warm up, put my foil on. How am I supposed to get this dead center? So I tried a few different methods, did a lot of research, and there's 2 different methods that I've seen and that I just think work best. So I'm going to show you that. They're both a hinge method, but they're slightly different. So what you're going to do, if this is the design of your card, which it was mine, this is the hydrangea blue. So I'm going to take the hydrangea blue, and I've cut one down to the exact same size that I wanted. I'm also gonna, this is where the copy paper comes into play. a piece of copy paper that is the exact same size. And here's where washi tape comes into play. Now, the thing about washi tape, and I did say cheap washi tape, I don't have, well, I do have expensive washi tape, and it peeled the paper off, which doesn't make sense to me because it's supposed to be washi tape, but whatever. Anyway, this is a cheaper washi tape. I think I got it at the dollar store, and it works perfectly fine. I have used other tapes and they left a residue behind, which is okay when you're doing this because nothing's going to show on the front of your card. But anyway, I digress. So just fold it over, make yourself a hinge. Now you have a little hinge. I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to center this flat side down. And this part I can eyeball. I don't mind that at all. Oops, let's put this aside for a sec because I didn't cut any foil. So let's do that first. Let's cut some foil. So this is why I like my rotary cutter. So I'm just going to come in here, and you might hear a lot if you're new to this, or you do a lot of you have a lot of Stampin' Up product. Maybe you're a demonstrator and you've ordered this for yourself. You hear a lot of talk about overfoiling, and I think there's two reasons for that now that I've been doing that for a while. One is sharp corners. The other is pressure, that you might just have too much pressure on your machine. That one, I don't know how to get out of that one, but that can be a reason for it. Okay, so keeping that in mind, I'm going to try and not really have sharp corners. So I'm just going to move my way around like this. And I might have to peel that because I didn't put enough. My blade's also getting dull. I've been doing this for so long with this. All right. Okay, and just pull this apart. There we go. Oop, don't wrinkle it. That's not good. All right, let's bring the hinge back into play here. So again, I'm going to go flat side down because now this is going to be the front of my card. That's where I want the foil to happen. So I have the flat side down. I'm going to line this up kind of where I want. I'm heating up my machine here to the left and waiting for it to beep. Okay, I'm going to put the shiny side. You're all screaming at me, up, down. My brain just went blank for a second. I like to look at this side as the sticky side, so it needs to stick to the front. So, oh, there my machine went. Okay, so you could tape this down if you wanted to or you feel more comfortable. I think I'm okay like this. I'm just going to gently put this over. Okay, pick it up. Hopefully it won't move. I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to lay it down. And I'm going to push this button. Hopefully you can see that. Now the yellow light is flashing, and it's going to take about 1.5 minutes to warm up. Yes, I put it on my, it's not very hot on the bottom. I'm going to put it back on the silicone mat and let that run. When that beeps, we're then going to run it through our Stampin' Emboss machine, which I will bring in here. So in the meantime, there are several stamps that you can get from Stampin' Up. There is foil dies. So this is a fun one. I love this one because it has so many words. And this is one die. So these are all attached. You can cut it out once and have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different words, which I've done. And then I just put them in an envelope and I can pull them out when I want to use them. Or you can do one at a time. It's a little fussier, but you can do it. Probably my favorite one so far is this one. And I'm going to show you a project with that. This is the die, and it comes with a stamp as well. There is a very large plate, this one called Garden Silhouette. There is, let's see, there's the hot foil butterflies. I didn't get everything, but close to it, because I was having a lot of fun with this. And then there's this set that you can get, oops, which is also very beautiful. So they have quite a few things you can choose from. There's a few more than this as well. Okay, so let's bring in the machine. and it's just beeped. Okay, so let me just bring this in for a second. There's one thing I do want to warn you about, and this comes from a husband who worked in electronics for so many years that he just can't get out of his brain. When you go to remove this magnetic plug-in, do not pull the cord. If you do that over the next year, 2, 3 years, this connection here could potentially come loose. So just grab the black piece, bend down a little bit. It comes off quite easily. I'm going to bring in my 2 plates that it comes with. These are shims. I'm going to put them over top, and we're going to gently and slowly, slow is the key here, and if you're so used to running dies through it, it's a very irritating feeling going super slow. So I'm not going to show you, but you'll be able to tell with the time it takes. Slow is better. You can go back and forth. I know some people say you shouldn't, but I have. Nothing bad happens. It's not a big deal. But if you go slowly the first time. Okay, I'm going to plug this back in. So it's going to start heating up again for the next project. I'm going to take this off and peel this back. And I've got my piece exactly where I wanted it. Now I have a tiny little bit of overfoiling there. That is where you probably can't even see that on camera. I'm not sure if you can, but there is a tiny bit there. So I'm not even putting pressure on the rubber. There's a few dots. I don't know how that happens, but, and way you go. Now, if you find overfoiling, like maybe on the edge, I've had that happen where it's like right on the edge there, you can actually go over it really lightly like this. This is depressed enough because it's a pressed in image that if without any pressure, if you just do this, you're not going to erase that line. At least I never have. So, okay, so that is one method, hinge method. However, let's say now that you have words and you want the words to be somewhere specific, such as, anyway, that's how I got this card, okay? And so the other card I did was this, and you can see my thank you is very crooked because all I did was put the thank you down on the plate, and I think I put it away. Let me just grab it. Where did I? Oh, it's over here. Over here. Okay, I'm going to pull 2 things out. So I have a thank you and I have a celebrate. And my machine, again, is warming up. So the thank you is clearly crooked. Should be like this. But anyway, I just put it on the plate and then kind of guessed and went like this. And obviously I didn't guess well. And so I'm a little frustrated by that. So the other way that you can do this is to take your card fronts. I've already stamped on this. My machine is just clicked. So I've got about 5 minutes or so before I have to push that button. I don't know if that's probably out of camera. So I got about 5 minutes or so. I haven't really timed, but if I leave it like this, it'll automatically shut off because I haven't touched it for a while. And then all you have to do is pull the plug and put it back in and it'll reset. Okay, so let's say I want this thank you and I want it to be exactly there. I'm going to take some washi tape. Well, first I'm going to line this up. So I'm going to use some copy paper to do that. So I want my T and my U at the end to be lined up. So if I line my cardstock on this cutting mat along the grid line, and then I take this grid line and the one across from it and put my paper down, and then I can adjust this to where, oops, it's getting stuck, where my T, let's see the T and the, so like that, pull this out. I'm gonna let go of that. Now I'm gonna take some, now I'm doing a thicker piece of washi tape. The thin one doesn't work for this. It'll work for this one because it has a flatter bottom, right? See, so you'll get used to it as you do it. But this, the Y is really low, so I need a wider washi tape. And hopefully that looks a bit crooked to me. Okay, so now I'm gonna put washi tape up here, and I'm gonna lightly, not gonna rub too hard, but I'm gonna pull it over and grab some tape or some foil, sorry, and just lay that in there. Hopefully this piece is enough, big enough, maybe too big. Okay, so I'm going to tuck that down and pick this up. Okay, so this piece isn't quite big enough, but let's pretend that it was. It's not going to foil there, but I'm going to show you a little trick. Let me just get this extra off. And okay, so I'm going to bring my machine in here. It's already beeped. The red light is solid. I'm going to lay this over this way. Lay it down. Push the button, and we will let that go for a minute. Okay, so that has beeped and the light has gone green. So I'm going to sandwich this, put the green one underneath, put this over top. I'm going to unplug this and put it through my machine. And again, I'm just going to run through slowly. Now, when I first started doing this, my slow roll was not very slow. I was kind of impatient, and it does make a difference. So, all right. So I've gone through, and the first thing I'm going to do is plug this in again because I'm going to do something else. All right, so let's bring that back over. Okay, so here is my thank you. Now, it might be straighter, but see how I've missed the top? This is where the hinge is a beautiful thing, because I can just flip this back over. I can take this out. Okay, I can even take this little scrap that's here, and I can shiny side up. In case I missed that part, I can just put that in there. I can grab another scrap if I have one somewhere, which I'm sure that I do. Have a little bit of scrap here. I can put that here. Let's cut it down. Not quite so big. And I can put this under here, and it's like repositionable. Like, that's exactly what it is. So if I'm worried about this falling out, maybe I could tape it down. I'm not. I'm going to flip it over. Now, it is flashing. You can see it flashing. It's still pretty hot, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to push the button again and wait. I'm going to wait a bit. I won't necessarily have to wait till that turns green. I've done this like quite a bit of time before because it's kind of already hot, but I think the machine is set to do a timing. Let's see. Oh, it beeped. Now I can push it. But anyway, I'm not too worried. I think this is hot enough and it's going to work. So I'm going to pull this out, run it through. Slowly. Pull it off, plug it in if you're going to keep working, plug it in right away. I'll put this over here. And by the way, the mat is hot, but I mean, I don't recommend anybody doing this, but oh, and see, that did move, but did I get it? I did get it. There. Perfect. And then you fixed it because you have a little hinge. So I have a little bit of overfoiling. I kind of wonder if, because this has been sitting around and it bends, if little pieces don't flick off, because it's way up here unless it's on my fingers. I don't know. But like I said, just take your sand eraser. I don't even know if the camera is picking that up, quite honestly, but just gently. It's almost like it's loosely on there. I don't know. Just like that. Like, no big deal. All right. So that is a lot straighter than my first one. So you might be wondering how I got those two Here's my sample. These 2 stripes, because we don't have anything that is striped like that. So this is where leftovers is kind of fun. So I took some double-sided tape, some really thin tape, and I just went across. I'm going to move that out of the way, but I'm going to line this up so it's somewhat straight and go across from one side to the other again, so I'm straight. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a thicker piece of double-sided tape, and I'm going to come back in, and I'm just going to go below it a little bit. Oops. I like that. Take that off. Take that off. And I'm going to bring in my scrap pieces. And I'm just going to start laying it in there. Now, don't burnish this. Don't rub, or you're going to rub. The gold is not going to look very good, but just keep doing it. Just keep laying it down, pulling it off. It's kind of like an actual gold leafing. It's kind of a similar process, only I don't think this is real gold. Just like that, all the way across. Great way to get rid of all your leftover scraps, right? And it doesn't matter that that looks like that, because you're just going to cover it up. Just keep covering it up. I mean, it's faster if you have a solid piece, but you don't need one, is what I'm saying. It's kind of got an aged look to it. I should try brushing it with I have a clean toothbrush here. Just brush it. All right, and I have this stuck down, so let me cut this off. Okay. There you go. So that's how I got that. And I have a little bit of overfoiling again, like it feels like glitter, like it's coming off like glitter in some areas, but it's no big deal. It's almost like you're just doing this with the eraser. That's how little pressure that you're putting on the sand eraser, because obviously if you push too hard, you could rub the paper off. But anyway, that's how I did that portion of it. So those are 2 methods and a bunch of tips that I have learned in the last couple of weeks on how to do this. I'll show you some other cards that I've done. Let me just turn my machine off for a second. So this is the background stamp that I was telling you about, or I showed you earlier. If I can find it quickly. Yeah, this is the background stamp. So I did it in gold foil on white. And here is the other tip or trick to hot foiling. You need smooth paper. The Stampin' Up! Whisper White works quite well. I haven't had an issue with it. Stampin' Up! Does recommend that the 2-tone works the best, and I've also done 2-tone, but this is the black, just regular black cardstock, and it worked just fine. So I haven't had an issue yet with anything colored, but I have both 2-tone and regular cardstock. So anyway, and then I colored it with the new, is it Barely Blush in color from Stampin' Up! I thought that was a very pretty card. And then, of course, you can foil on a lot of different things. So this one I foiled on vellum. So this is the Stampin' Up! Vellum. And I happen to have a whole bunch of these tags. Now, that is silver on gold, but I still think it looks cute. And this is Blueberry Bushel ink is what I used for this one. I did that. And what else did I do? Oh, I also tried to go on ribbon. I thought, well, this will be interesting. If you can do it on anything, will ribbon work? It is a bit fussy, I will say that, because it's not easy to line up. But that's what it looks like if you do it on ribbon. And I thought I had, now this is a satiny ribbon, and I'm sure the type of ribbon is going to make a difference, because I did try it on another Stampin' Up! Ribbon that was not this smooth texture. It was, and it didn't work as well. I don't know where that went. So anyway, trust me. That didn't work as well. So anyway, I hope that this helps you if you're just new to the machine and you've just purchased a Stampin' Up! One, that this helps you. These are the things that I have learned, and I'm just passing those on to you. And if I learn anything more new in this process, I will be sure to let you know. So thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you guys have a great day.